Hi, I'm Britt Sellard, Development Specialist with American Implement, and welcome to this episode of American Implement's Virtual Tractor Clinic series, where we are highlighting the 2 family. We're here in our Scott City, Kansas location, and I will soon be joined by Tyler Coe, location manager here in Scott City, who has over 20 years of John Deere experience, and he's going to speak to a little bit more about some of the common applications he's seeing customers utilize these tractors for, and then some of the key advantages and features that customers are really liking about these machines. So to start things off, let's break down the models a little bit within the 2 family. So we only have 3 models within the 2 family. We have the 2025R, the 2032R, and the 2038R, which we have here with us today. So really the main differentiator between those is the 32 and 38R are considered large chassis or larger compared to the 25R. And so you are going to have a little bit different capacities, functionalities, things like that between the 2 tractors, or the small and the large, but they're still going to have that R trim level. So with that, we're going to bring Tyler in, and he's going to talk a little bit about what he's hearing from customers. So now we have an idea about the model breakdown. We're joined here by Tyler Coe, location manager here in Scott City, Kansas, and he's going to talk a little bit about what some of his customers are saying about these units and some of the common applications that they are purchasing to use them for. So Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, most of the time, depending on the horsepower needs and the size, like this 2038R, it's a good little in-between, has the horsepower, but it's not big and bulky. You can get into those tight spots.
Sure.
A lot of people like them. The loader work, move dirt, some leaves, branches, whatever else. We can put different attachments on the front of here. You know, pallet forks or a blade to move the snow. It's so versatile. The other thing that's nice about this loader is you can take it off in about 5 minutes. It's
the
attach.
quick attach, or the quick park
so
system.
You just have a quick system parking that goes down. You lift the levers, unhook your hoses, and back away. So when you have that belly mower under here, when you're mowing the lot and around the house and everything else, you don't have to worry about that loader bucket being in your way when you go to turn by a fence or something along those lines. So versatility of the R series on the utility tractors is pretty nice because you get the mid PTO and all that. And then of course you can put your rear attachments, you know, any landscape blades, box blades, rakes, and of course your rotary cutter if you don't need that fine quality cut grass.
Sure.
Some more brush and so forth. So that is pretty nice on what this tractor will do. So.
Great. So that's a little bit about the applications. What are maybe some of the specific features and maybe some of the qualities about this tractor that customers get excited about, or what might make them lean towards the Deere versus other units?
I mean, the main thing that Deere always looks for, and if you've been around any of it from this tractor all the way up to our big four-wheel drives, is a lot of it's about comfort. I mean, it's the usability. I can get in here, the handle to run the loaders really easy. It's not big, bulky. I have twin touch foot pedals, so I can go forward and reverse. It's not complicated. I can put a inexperienced operator on here, and they're able to pick it up pretty quick. So that's usually the biggest things that Deere has. And then of course the serviceability and the dealer support. I mean, where you can come get an air filter or oil filter, all the stuff and the oil you need when you want to service it, all from American Implement. So that makes the biggest difference too.
Great. What about some maybe of the quality standards and some of the quality aspects you like to point out on these units?
Quality wise, they run forever. You know, it's interesting, you don't see too many used utility tractors around. People just keep them. And when you do get them traded in, they don't last long. It's that green. They know that when they buy John Deere, they're getting quality.
Perfect.
We don't seem to have, you won't see many of these in our shop. You know, the only time you see them is when we first bring them in, check them over, and send them out the door, or when people want to bring them in and service them. We usually don't have too many breakdowns. Quality is great. Like I said, Deere just did a phenomenal job on their tractors, and from the ones all the way through.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for your time today, Tyler. We really appreciate it.
No problem. Appreciate it.
So Tyler talked a little bit about some of the applications he sees customers utilizing these tractors for. So let's just highlight some of those common attachments to do those jobs with. So again, with any compact utility tractor, when you think of jobs, you're going to think of material handling and loader work, right? That's one of the #1 applications for these tractors. So the 2R we have equipped right here with the 220R loader. That's going to have the quick park system. So again, very easy to take on and off within a minute. You have this full park stand that's going to fold down and actually help distribute the weight a little more evenly. Some of the competitors in the marketplace have individual legs that come down, so this is going to be a bit more sturdy and hold that loader up. But very simple on and off with these latches as well, so no tools needed, no bolts, anything like that. You do have the quick-hitch bucket, so you can interchange that out fairly easily too. So definitely can get a lot of work done there with the loader. Great feature as well that's compatible on the 2s. We don't have it here, but pretend an AutoConnect deck right underneath it. So you do have that capability with the AutoConnect deck, same as the 1 series or the 1 family. Industry exclusive drive over deck. Simply make sure your gauge wheels are locked, 4-wheel drive, up and over the deck. It's going to engage your PTO connection as well as some front linkage points up in the front. So amazing industry exclusive opportunity there with the John Deere tractor. And width-wise, you can actually get up to a 72-inch deck on these as well. So definitely get a lot of mowing done there. So that's what's handy with a mid-PTO capability on the 2 family of tractors. Now, when we get back here to the rear of the tractor or the back of the tractor, this is where things start getting pretty much endless. Between John Deere and Frontier implements and attachments, there's lots of things that these machines are capable of. First and foremost, highlight this iMatch hitch. Great frustration saver. So you're not trying to line up individual draft links or connection points. You have 3 consistent connection points here. On the 2 family, it is a Cat 1 hitch. So any category 1 compatible 3-point implements are going to work here on the rear, which is great. Any PTO driven implements, 540 on the rear, pretty standard. So thinking about any sort of those types of implements, or your rotary cutters, your rotary tillers, a lot of your ground engagement type applications that need that PTO. And don't forget about backhoe compatibility as well. So on the 2 family, you do have some backhoe options that can be utilized and add to a lot of the versatility of the 2 family tractors. So we've highlighted some of the common applications with these tractors, but let's talk about how we actually operate them and some of the functionality of them. So we're going to climb up here on our operator station. First and foremost, you do have this left-hand step, so makes it handy for vertically challenged folks like myself. A nice big handrail here for safely hopping up here on the operator station. You have a nice high back seat for operator comfort. You have some seat adjustments as well. So for myself, I can slide that forward so I can reach everything a little bit more easily. You have tilt steering as well, so add to that comfortable operator position. We're just going to rotate from the left-hand side over to the right and walk through this operator station. So way back here on my left-hand side, signified in yellow, which means it's going to correlate with the PTO, is our PTO selector. And so what that does, if a tractor is equipped with a mid and a rear PTO, we need to select which one we want to utilize if we are in that sort of application. We're going to either select the rear 540, we can select the mid 2000 speed, or you can select both if you're in some sort of application where you need to engage both. So you have your PTO selector in orange, which means it's going to be considered something to do with ground movement, machine movement, or engine engagement. So our range selector is going to be over here. It's a simple high-low neutral, since we do have that hydrostatic transmission on the 2Rs. We got to be a neutral to start. Low is going to be for more ground engaging type applications, or if you're really doing some heavy dirt work, things like that. High is going to be maybe for more transport, or maybe some lighter engine load type applications. So just circling on around, also in orange, you have your park brake. So currently it's disengaged. To engage it, simply pull up, disengage, click the button, push it back down. Down here next to my heel, I have my diff lock engagement. So maybe when I'm in a slick spot or digging into dirt pile, all that's going to do is more evenly distribute the power on your rear wheels. So it's going to allow you to dig in a little more evenly on the back end. Also down here by your diff lock is going to be your MFWD engagement. So it's just a simple lever that you're going to pull up to engage and depress to disengage. So again, something you can do on the fly to where if you need that extra front wheel assist, you can do that. You have your brakes over here on your left-hand side, so they can be treated as one single brake, or you can disconnect them and treat them as steering brakes. So that's just going to allow you to turn a little tighter and just brake one side of the tractor or the other. Definitely recommended though to where if you're not utilizing them as individual steering brakes, keep them locked. So that way if you do need to come to a sudden stop, you're depressing both brakes at the same time. All right, so looking straight forward, you do have more of an automotive style cluster with your lights. So your work lights and or just your front lights. You have your hazard lights as well right here, turn signals, and then some functionality with your regen functionality as well within the tractor here too. Your dash itself, it's going to be an LCD screen that's going to showcase your hour usage and then some other indicator lights such as PTO engagement, fuel levels. You actually have an actual gauge for your fuel level, but just common things you would anticipate there, battery, things like that as well. So it's going to keep you in tune with what's happening in the tractor. Obviously your RPMs is going to be right there front and center, so you know at what RPMs your tractor is operating as well, and then some of your various temperatures too to keep an eye on as well. Make sure your tractor's not overheating. Now going along with the transmission, again marked here in orange on your right hand side, you have your hand throttle, which is going to basically control the speed or the RPMs of your engine. So rabbit for high idle, turtle for low idle. Also always a best practice that when you turn your tractor off, bring it down to a low idle, let it sit there for a few seconds, and then turn your tractor and key it off. Now the twos have this thing called an E throttle, which is basically allowing your transmission and your tractor to think smart together and basically rate each other and making sure that your engine isn't overworking or underworking. And so you have that engagement over on your right hand side as well. Just a simple little switch to click there. Moving around over to the right hand side of your operator station, you do have your twin touch pedals, so operates the same as all the rest of the hydrostatic transmissions from the 1 through the 4 family of tractors. Left for forward, right for reverse. Very simple, very easy to use. So finally rotating over to our right hand side of our operator station, we have our loader handle. Very consistent with its functionality as well. It's got a little decal if you forget. That back is for up, forward is for down, right is for dump, and left is for curl. You do also have this lockout option as well, to where if you're not utilizing your loader and you accidentally bump it, you can decide, hey, I just locked that out and then I just lost all functionality of my loader handle control. So that's nice there. And then just disengage and you have your functionality back. You have your hitch height level as well over here, your hitch control. And so that's a nice, easy way to operate that. You do also have your control, your height selector. And so that's just something that you can lock in there. So that way you're constantly lowering your hitch to a very consistent depth. So, you know, if you're rototilling or mowing at a certain height, that's nice to have that little cheat in there for you there. You do have some holes to where if you did option up to get some additional, be it rear or mid SCV remotes, your controls would be over here on your right hand side as well. Over here in yellow, you see your PTO engagement. So we selected our PTO over here on our left hand side, which one or both, if we want to operate both at the same time. And then you can simply engage it on the fly over here on your right hand side. So that's nice. Your cruise control is going to be over here on your right hand side, basically turning it on, turning it off, etc. So all in all, fairly simple on the 2R. We have a little bit more bells and whistles than we had with the 1 family of tractors. but really simple, easy to use. Visibility is great. Your openness around your platform, be it a flat platform, your sloping hood as well, so visibility to your loader work. It's just a great all-in-all little tractor. Keeping your tractor serviced and maintained is obviously very important to make sure you're getting the most performance out of it. So we're just going to walk through some of the common serviceability checkpoints and some neat tools that can help you maintain your tractor. So looking here under the hood, just a few things to call out. You have your battery up here in the front, so that has some easy accessibility as well. You have your coolant reservoir here, so you can check your coolant levels very easily. You have access to your radiator, so if that needs blown out or maintenance, easy to do. And then easy access to your air filter as well. So those would be some of the very common call outs. Now, if you want some more accessibility to the engine compartment itself, there's these little yellow knobs right here that you can twist and actually take out these side panels too. So that gives you just a little bit more accessibility. All the engines in the two families are going to be Yanmar engines, 3-cylinder, final tier 4 engines. Obviously, since they are different rated horsepowers, they're going to have a little different displacement and vary slightly in the models from Yanmar, but still very reliable, efficient, quiet engines. Now, some of the common other checkpoints you can get to without even opening the hood. So it's going to be over here on your right-hand side of your tractor. The first one, you're going to have your oil check, your dipstick back here. So kind of hidden behind that loader frame just a little bit, but very easy to access there, again, without even lifting the hood. You're going to have your oil filter located right next to that as well. Again, kind of hidden behind this loader frame, but nice and easy to reach. And then you have your fuel filter right under here. So those would be some of those common service points that you're going to want to do on your tractor when it's advised to do so. And then you also have your front axle oil fluid right up front as well. So very easy to access and find all those. The other fluid check that you want to be concerned with is going to be your hydraulic fluid. That's going on the back side of your tractor. So we're looking for that dipstick, but it's a pretty common location throughout the different compact utility tractors. Right back here, it's going to allow you to check to see how that hydraulic fluid's going. So those are going to be some of those common checkpoints, and highlighting just how accessible that those are. Now, some tools to help you remember all that. First and foremost, you have your operator's manual. That's probably the best tool to utilize. But then you also have the John Deere Tractor Plus app. So it's an app that's downloadable on Android and or iPhone. You can utilize it for all John Deere tractors, which is great. But that's just going to be a nice, easy step-through process of your serviceability schedule, different maintenance checkpoints, how to perform those maintenance items. To give you instructions both in pictures and sometimes even videos. So it's a really great tool to help you through that process if you're not overly mechanically minded. Now, you can always call your American Implement Service Department and they'd be more than happy to help you maintain your tractor and when it comes time to do those service checks and do those service jobs as well. So keep that in mind. And then another great tool that you can utilize is going to be the John Deere Customer Portal. So it's going to allow you to look up common parts, filters, fluids, things like that, and allow you even to order online to your local American Implement dealer. So definitely check out and consider signing up for the customer portal as well. But with that sums up how easy and accessible a lot of these service points really are, and I encourage you to utilize some of those tools like the John Deere Tractor Plus app and the John Deere Customer Portal. We've talked a lot about how easy these tractors are to use and to operate, but then we also have highlighted how easy it is to take attachments and implements on and off. So we want to show that here just a little bit more. First and foremost, starting with the iMatch hitch. And so I know we've highlighted how simple this is to use, or we've talked about it. First and foremost, what you'll want to do is make sure these locks are upright. So you probably noticed that this lock moved in and out when I put this lever up. And so that's going to allow me to connect those extra 2 points there. So pretty easy to move that up. And the next thing is just going to be to hop on the tractor itself and back up into our implement. All right, make sure we're neutral. Start up the tractor. So my trick is that top link is probably the easiest to line up visually. We're pretty close to it, but that's usually my target of what I like to shoot for. So my hitch is all the way down. Maybe it doesn't have to be quite that low, but obviously we want to be under those connection points. So back up to almost where you're touching it, to where when I lift it up, those 3 points are going to grab hold for me. Perfect. And all that's left is to flip those locks back into place. So put my tractor back into neutral, flip my locks down. And so in this case, since it is a rotary cutter, we do have the PTO shaft. All I would have left would be to hook up that PTO shaft and I would be ready to go mow. But that's just how easy this iMatch hitch is to line up those 3-point connections there. I'm not fiddling with these draft links, trying to adjust them in and out, or this top link up and down. It really helps with uneven ground, where all you have to do really is line up that top connection point and put down your levers and you're ready to rock and roll. Now we've got our mower on. I'm going to go get some mowing done, but I don't necessarily want my front loader on there just for maneuverability and whatnot. So I'm going to showcase how easy it is to disconnect the loader next. So we're going to do that from obviously the seat of the tractor here. The first thing you want to do is just take the pressure off of your loader bracket itself, or the connection point. So we're going to put the bucket down as far as it'll go, basically. Sometimes it'll feel like you're about ready to lift your front tires, but that's okay. Now again, make sure your tractor's in neutral so it doesn't shut off on you. And then my arms are a little bit shorter, so I'm gonna have to stand up here and actually push up these clips here. I almost ate my Wheaties this morning because I got those up nice and easy. So now I'm going to go the opposite, actually nope, same direction. And as you can see, my park stand up in the front starting to come down. My loader frame is starting to disconnect from the tractor. So I'm going to go all the way until that park stand is securely on the ground. So now I'm completely free of my loader. So this would be the point where you would actually get off the tractor. So the one time you have to get off your tractor to disconnect your hydraulic hoses. For the sake of the show and tell here, we're not going to do that. But now we're going to pretend that my mowing's all done. It was a great day. And I want to put my loader back on to do some other material handling. So it's going to be just the opposite of what we just did. Sometimes, you know, maybe the only little trick is just to make sure your loader's lined up with your loader frame. So we're going to go forward with it. I'm actually going to go into gear just so I can steer a little bit over. There we go. So now we're nice and lined up there. You can see close up that my loader is nice and lined up with my loader frame. So now I'm just going to continue to fold that park stand. And it'll kind of situate itself, which is nice. And so now my park stand's completely up. Now I just need to put my brackets back down. So again, make sure my tractor's in neutral because my arms aren't long enough, so I'm gonna have to stand up out of the seat. Clip those down. And continue raising your bucket. And now I'm ready to go do some loader work. So super simple, super quick to take that loader on and off. And I'm ready to go get some more work done. Thanks for spending some time with me today talking about the two family of tractors. We've gone over a lot. We've talked about their various applications, their versatility, their ease of use, overall operations, and then some basic serviceability aspects when it comes to maintaining these machines. So really encourage you to come check out these machines either in person at a local American Implement location, or we have some opportunities coming up with some different Drive Green events this spring, specifically at the 3i show in Dodge City, Kansas at the Western State Bank Expo in March, and then also in Garden City at the Home and Garden and Farm Show at the Findlay County Fairgrounds in May. So be looking out for those opportunities. Also, please check out our website for any upcoming events that are currently being scheduled and even some virtual opportunities to get in some savings on these tractors. Speaking of savings, we have some great tractor packages going on all of our compact utility tractors, but I want to highlight the Herdsman and the Herdsman Plus tractor packages, which is actually on the 2032R model. So some other great opportunities for savings. I encourage you to check that out on our website. But again, thank you so much for spending some time with me today talking about the two family of tractors, and we hope to see you on another episode of our Virtual Tractor Clinic series.